Alrighty. Wonder if this is even working. This is a new computer. Haven't streamed in like forever. Maybe 2 years? Maybe 3 years? Man, when's it been since I last actually streamed something on the good old YouTube? So I'm getting harassed by good old Bacon Bombs, who actually sent us bacon flavored, well, I guess it's not bacon flavored pizza. He sent us pizza, bribing me with bacon on pizza to do this, finally do this set booster box challenge from The Brothers War. So apparently, what good old Bacon Bombs wants is to open up this set booster, and then we are going to try to pick a commander out of this and see if there is one worthy to build a commander deck out of. So this is my, oh geez, now as I throw things here, gosh, I need to clean my workspace. This is how I build commander decks. I like to go all out. This is my last commander challenge. Was the, I guess this wasn't my last one. I think I did one with Baldur's Gate. But here's my last one with Asterik. And Asterik was a fun one for Forgotten Realms. So I like to take commanders and try to break them as much as possible. I wouldn't say that they enter into like CEDH level. I usually like to go as wombo combo. The way I play commanders, I don't like to interact with my opponents very often. So this particular deck, I went all out with like things like Semblance Anvil and whatnot, just to get as much wombo combo-y out of Asterik. So typically that's with Commander, that's how I like to play. It's more of the experiment of building a deck and finding as many synergistic pieces as possible. I've hated the direction that Commander has gone with having to play like must includes. Like I don't play like Toxic Delusion this. Like there's so many black cards that are staples, or red cards or green cards or artifacts nowadays that are just staple in every deck that you should be playing if you want to like interact with your opponents and whatnot. So boring. By the time you include all the musts, you're down to like 20 cards you can work with. So that is the reason I do a lot of these wombo comboes. And what do you have a picture in picture? What are you talking about here? My face? My cute face plus this? Or is there something going on? So I haven't even tried this on YouTube to see what it's like. So you'll have to tell me in the comment section how horrible this is. How horrible this is turning out. I wonder if Zach's watching us as the tippity-tappity dogs come in to the studio here. What's up, Buttons? Come here, buddy. Come say hi to YouTube. Come say hi to YouTube. Come on. Get up, Buttons. Oh, how are you, Mr. YouTube? I guess YouTube knows you a little bit if they watch the Gone Rogue Game channel, but you're kind of a new addition to what, life? How old are you? Like a year old? Oh, thanks for the kiss, bud. All right, get back down. Hey, Boos. Not gonna say hi to them or they'll bug me. Go play. Come here, Boos. Boos. Bruce does not want to. Come here, Bruce. Buns does not want to let Bruce come up. Come here, Bruce. There's Bruce. He loves to give kisses. There's the Bruce. Now you guys done I want to say photo bombing, but this isn't a photo. You done camera bombing and you go play, or does Chloe need to come say hi too? All right, as the dogs say hi. So yeah, where was I going with this? Brothers War. Brothers War. Good set, really fun set. I think set booster is the way to go. What do you want? Bacon Bombs? You want me to open up just a set booster? Want me to open up a collector's booster and a set booster? Want me to open up some Pokemon? Should we just open up some Pokemon instead? I got some Silver Tempest building battles here. We can open instead, and I can build you a deck out of Silver Tempest. Your call. Guess we'll just start with the Brothers War. And I have a damage collector booster box that needs to be opened because I don't feel like shipping it. I don't know what you're planning on doing with your collectors, if you're planning on holding them, or if you're planning on I can't even open up a box. Jeez, I'm getting old in my age. But I guess we can see what we go with set boosters. Set boosters should give us enough. I believe you can get like the hideous transformer cards in the set boosters, but I don't want to build a transformer. So Guts, Glory, and Giant Robots. Least it's not. I don't know. This set's pretty weeby, to be honest. Everything's so weeby now. You weebs have ruined everything. Everything's sacred. The Mishra versus Urza. You know one of my tropes, fantasy tropes I cannot stand? I don't know if it's more of a trope. I hate time travel. I hate time travel more than any other genre. And man, Magic won't get going back in time to fix things that they... Ugh. Anyway. Old man complains. You'll fly down here and throw down. Have you seen these guns? Have you seen these guns? That's it. That's it. That's it, man. That's it. It's get the guns out time, Mr. Bacon Bombs. You seen these guns, Mr. Bacon Bombs? I'm not afraid of you. Am I on the right website to be taking clothes off? Not sure. Not sure. Okay. Let's start off with the packs. I guess we'll just do a booster box opening. And what is it? What, do you want me to try to use as many cards from... I spit everywhere. Jeez, you guys get to see that. As many cards possible from this set? Or give me like a ballpark, or just try to find a commander? I don't know what I'm... Skinny boy. That's it. That's it. All right, so let's just get on to it here with the cards. Maybe I can zoom. I think we're pretty zoomed in here. So we're looking for commanders, first of all, and I'll kind of put these in colors as we go. Is a challenge to build a commander deck out of all the cards that I get? Like, what's the challenge deck? You didn't give me enough parameters here. I need, like, limitations. Otherwise, I'm just going to choose, like, one. I can do, like, the competitive EDH players do and don't even play with their commanders. Just play with all the staples. Build you a boring-ass deck. Heavyweight Demolisher. So I guess these are... Do you guys consider these color identity like Wizards does? Or do you consider them just to be artifacts with the alternate casting cost of colors? Tons of them in this one. That's what set boosters do. They try to have like a theme. A self-assembler. I opened this sucker up like crazy. I guess it's okay in this one. We have the Tokasia's Welcome. So, that's okay card. Tokasia's Welcome on here for white as our rare. And not a green card in the set booster box. 30 non-land cards from the set. Okay, so we got to try 30. So then I need to be looking at cards I actually get, too, out of here, huh? And then we have the Sibling Rivalry. Definitely what I've got going on with all my scrub siblings. Not really. The Bitter Reunion. This is one of my favorite cards actually printed from the set. Overwhelming Remorse. I mean, this would definitely go in it. It's commander playable for sure. The Gaia's Gift, another very playable commander card. Involuntary Cooldown, which what you guys will be needing to do after you keep seeing these guns. I'm full of them today. It's late. Why you made me do this so late, Bacon Bombs? The Ocean Dissident, which is good for an artifact-based deck, but so far still no commanders. And like I said, the Self-Assembler, I'm cursed with it. I open this sucker up. Oh, there we go. There's our first commander, but we have to get the other piece to it with the Titania Voice of Gaia. How's a picture on? I can only see my end. I don't know how well it's doing with live. We've been kind of having issues with our internet back here. Hopefully it's decent. And we do have the Razorlash Transmogrant, which is, I believe I saw this in a Pioneer. And a Mimic as, oh great, this is our list card as a Mimic, which is actually commander playable because it is like a very bad Lotus Petal, but I mean it still is some way you can ramp into a commander, and that is actually important in commander. Jeweled Lotus is a very good card. Wizards of the Coast. It wasn't a liability. It's a broken way to put out your commander and get value. So anyway, let's get on to more art cards that no one likes to look at, or people do like to look at. And we got our first foil land, Stern Lesson. So Power Stones. So we've got, okay, so I guess I should make a pile of eligible legendaries that we can use. The Moment of Defiance, and we got the Killzone Acrobat, the Recluse, Forging Anchor, Mass Production, and a Splitting the Power Stones. Geez, blue really does. Did anyone find it incredibly hard to draft in blue or like sealed in blue because of so many filler cards like this? I get it, you can have like a payoff for Power Stones, but it just seemed really, really hard in limited. The Take Flight, which is a decent draw, and the Liquid Metal Coating, some really cool stuff you can do with this card. And one with the Multiverse. Of course, this is probably high powerful card in the set with a foil Demolition Field. And there's a standard deck going around with this to try to reanimate it. So like a what is a white-blue enchantment reanimation, artifact or enchantment. And I don't think we're going to be playing Gates because this is a terrible list card. I don't understand their choices for list, to be honest. I think sometimes it's just so random what they put in. Like Opal Lake Gatekeepers, like there's demand for that. 2 or more gates, you can draw a card for 4 mana, when creatures nowadays just draw cards for 4 mana when you put them into play. The Power Stone. Wait, we're upside down here. We are art card. What's up, Roker? What do you sky? I guess Roker's West Coast. Not East Coast like bacon bombs. You ever sleep bacon bombs? And now we have the Wasteful Harvest, which is what my garden always is when I don't get to it in time. Thargothian Opportunist. This is actually a pretty cool commander card with Power Stones to ramp things out. I think in Commander, Power Stones are a lot more useful because you have so many abilities you can actually sink it into. Corrupt. Dreams of Steel and Oil. Okay. The Evangel of Synthesis. This is another really push card, in my opinion, for a 2-drop that is typically a 3/3 for 2 mana. And then the loot ability is super strong on it as well. There we go. So we have Ashnod the Uncaring, which is kind of boring because isn't this the commander? You can actually get this out of... This is the commander card deck, right? So this is the only way to get it non-foil? No, this is Ashnod. Is that the... No, Mishra. I can't remember. Maybe this isn't in the commander decks as the... This isn't the one that's in the precon, is the... Whatever. Okay. Whenever you activate an ability of an artifact or creature that isn't a mana ability, if one or more permanents were sacrificed to activate it, you may copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. So there's got to be a lot of synergy with this with sacrificing as part of a cost. But it's got to be an artifact or creature that wants to sacrifice it. So I can think of a couple standard cards. So here's our second one that's eligible. And then we have a ban card. Can I play it in my commander deck if I open it up in limited? Is it like one of those things that they printed a ban card in a pre-constructed deck that you can still use it if you use the exact copy of the pre-constructed deck? Starting Titan is banned, and I guess it wants us to open up this Transmogrant as our second one. So there's our banned Sundering Titan and the Whirling Strike foil. It's going to take us forever if I keep... Thanks, Roker. Thanks for the tip. I guess if you guys like these live streams, I can try to find some time. Again, I wasn't going to do it. I was going to go home and clean. I got someone moving in, but apparently I was threatened with my life if I didn't do this live stream. Someone to come... What are you saying, Bacon Bombs? You would come and throw down? Or is that just if I open up some Pokemon? The Aerith Chaplain, fine in Commander. We got the Gigamole. Forged Chandler, which Prowess. Ward Pay to Life. Man, so I still haven't even fully played this set yet to see what's even in it. The Thrax... Just sets are coming out too quickly that even as a content creator, it's hard for me to keep up with stuff. I don't know, maybe I would just stretch too thin to keep up with Magic and all the million other stuff that I have going on. Okay, so now we got some synergies here. We got the Thraxoderm that actually can work with the Ashnod's Unearning, whatever it's called. We have the Disciples of Gix, which has... This is a card that I've been actually thinking goes in a lot of different Reanimator strategy decks. Like Balfour the Defiled, I'd put it in. What's up, Arya? Long time no see, too. Jays, where you been? This Skyfisher Spider. And here is our third, which is the Thanos Solemn Survivor, which I'm thinking this is out of the Commander deck, too. So this is kind of like a boring one, because it is in Commander. But create a token that's a copy of the one target artifact token you control, and then mill 2 cards. Copy of one target artifact token. So you need to have a token already to then create a token of it. And you can sacrifice 2 artifact tokens to exile an artifact or creature card from your graveyard to create a token that's a copy of the exile card. So that's how you get the initial token. This one's actually a pretty cool card. I can see some really, really strong synergies with Thanos, which I'm thinking it's been done a million times. Then we have the Jalem Tome, which is... It works in Commander. And now we finally do have another Commander, which is Feldon, which can't block whenever Feldon is dealt damage. Exile many cards from the top of your library and choose one. You can play it. So, until your next turn. I guess there would be some interesting things with giving indestructible, building around Stuffy Doll type strategy with this one. And then you can draw a ton of cards. So, I mean, as far as creativity level to build Feldon as a commander, I'd put that one probably the coolest one that we've opened so far. So I'll have to wait and see. So, Roker, the challenge is we're opening this up, and then you guys are going to tell me which deck to build. And then for next week, on Thursday, Commander Night, I think that's what I'm going to start doing. By the way, I did hire an editor, so hopefully the editor pans out this time, and we can actually get some higher quality content. going on here at Rogue Deck Builder besides just me point and shooting. And then I'll have time to do more stuff like this. If I can just, my whole goal is if I can just theory craft, if I can just do the raw footage and some poor soul can edit it, that will save a lot of time. And I think it'll up the content on this channel as well. So yeah, we can, I guess, start going through these a little bit quicker of what Junkyard Genius has synergy with Ashnod. The Arbalest Engineers, cool card. Acre Wellspring will definitely go in one of our artifact-based decks for sure. And then we have the Platoon Dispenser. This is the card that Zach beat me with in the pre-release because I couldn't draw one of my 9 exile cards against this. The Platoon Dispenser got me 2 games because this is such a strong card in Limited. Being the end step, you control 2 or more other creatures, draw a card, you create a 1/1 soldier artifact creature token. So, strong card, but it so far can't even go with any of the commanders. With a Bitter Reunion, and we have an Architect's Will, which is a sign that this is the deck that I should build for the upcoming challenge at Gonro Games that I'm going to announce at the start of the year. So if you're in the area and you beat me in Pioneer, Modern, Standard, and Pauper, you get a free Ultimate Masters booster pack. Just for beating me, and it doesn't all have to be at once. It's over time. So over time, you have to come in and challenge me, and once you beat me in all 4 formats, you get a free pack of Ultimate Masters. What other store does that? Come on, come down and challenge me to the King of the Hill. But anyway, this is the deck I think I'm going to build for Modern. I really like Living End as just kind of a easy Modern deck to get back into it. So Architect's Will go into that deck. Extra budget goes to cards outside of this box. Okay. Soldier Token. Need a lot of those in this one. We have... Who knows what this is? Oh, that's the Aerialist, isn't it? The art for the Aerial... No, it's not. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I just work at a game store. The Mistress Juggernaut. All right, we'll start going a little bit quicker with this since it will take 9 years to get through this with the Grixis Caress, the Double Strike Thrasher, lots of the artifact cards, the good old Ornithopter, Pristine Talisman, that used to be a commander staple, the Fateful Handoff, which is kind of cool for giving your opponents bad stuff, and a Recommission, which is a fine card. Still not another legendary, so only 4. I guess this isn't the biggest legendary set, is it? There have been ones in the past that definitely had more options. Art cards, more of these Golems. Look at our artifact pile is huge. I don't know why I have 2 artifact piles or colorless piles. I don't know what I'm doing. Disenchant, I mean, I guess that's commander playable. And the Rock, which that's not the Rock. This is misleading information. That does not look like the Rock at all. Shoot Down, the Battery Bearer. This I drafted this my last draft, and it was pretty sweet actually. With just going a lot of the big Golem strategies. The Great Desert Prospector. There's some crazy stuff you can do with it. The Well Lost Dreams works with life gain, and a Battlefield Forge, which is worth nothing these days because it's been printed so many times. Latinam Adept. So what are y'all doing these days? I'm doing great. Mr. Sean, nice to see you here. Guys playing any sort of Magic? Playing any sort of Pokemon? I've actually been playing like more Pokemon than I've been playing Magic the Gathering lately. And still loving board games. Still haven't played Flesh and Blood forever. But looking to find some people to play with. Exile Graveyard's player can't cast non-creature spells this turn. So it's like a silence almost. The Disciples of Gix. Another Altar, which works for sacrifice a little bit. Then we have the Blackblade Reforged, which definitely can go in most commander decks. Hey, we finally have another commander, which artifact creatures get +2/+2, and you can create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control, except it's a 1/1 soldier. So I actually really like this guy because it does work with a lot of those Power Stone synergies. Commander. That's what we're trying to do today, Sean, is build a commander deck. Look at that Cloud Dragon that they felt like they needed to reprint from Portal. Derp. Kent Intercept. Same with the same old writing on here, too. I don't know. I agree with Bacon Bombs. I think that they need to axe a product, and Set Boosters probably needs to be the product that gets axed. It's just too redundant. And I'm not even sure this is the best way to get reprints back into the mix. As they can't have their cake and eat it too. They can't reprint everything to the ground and still have value for cards or try to justify set boosters. So I'm glad I was able to use that expression. Can't have their cake and eat it too. Urza's rebuff, or is it can't eat your cake and have it too? What's the proper way of saying it? We have the Warplow. Hey, it's good old Tasty, man. That the old crew is in here. Now we got to get Scrawn up. What time is it in New Zealand? Where's the Scrawny? Then we have the Gurgling Anointer. I haven't even seen this card. Draw your second card, put a +1 counter on it, and then return another target equal to the power. That's a pretty cool card. We have the Spotterthopter and a Mechanic, which is actually pretty good with some of the synergy. Oh, Door to Nothingness in here. Funny thing here, we got story time. We got to say, since I don't know what we've been doing on this live stream. Story time. This is how I met Zach. This is the first time I met Zach. So I moved down to Richfield 7 or 8 years ago, 9 years ago. I don't know, a while ago. But when I came down here from Richfield, Utah, I had already made a pro tour. So I'd already played on the pro tour, and I was a very, very competitive player up in the kind of the Salt Lake City area. And we had a really good group. There was a couple guys that had made silver at the time for the kind of the pro tour. So I don't know. What I'm trying to say here is I was already really good with competitive Magic, comparatively speaking to your average Magic player. And so I come to Richfield, and some guys were organizing a tournament, a standard tournament. And Door to Nothingness was still in M15 or M14 at the time. And I just blew through. I had this Jund control deck, and it was the only deck I had left. My cards had gotten stolen, not so early, right before I moved back. So one of the reasons I did move back from Salt Lake to Richfield is I was just sick of having my car getting broken into. Just a lot of stuff. I don't like living in cities, but my Magic cards were all stolen, so I only had a Jund deck. Because when I got back into Magic, I just kind of built one deck and played with it, and it was a very competitive Jund deck. And anyway, so I blew through that tournament because I remember my first round I was playing against some guy with goblins, and so he went first turn goblins, and then it was the next turn or third turn he plays Elixir of Immortality. I'm like, what in the world is Elixir of Immortality doing in a goblin deck? And the kid looked at me like I was crazy. He's like, it goes in every deck because there's so many mill decks. And then I scratched my head. I'm like, where's mill in standard right now? It doesn't, it was terrible. I mean, I think he had some sort of Jace that could do it, but it was there wasn't a mill strategy that was even close to competitive, let alone a main board Elixir of Immortality needed in the format. And so it was so that was my first round, and then I just kind of blew through the tournament, and I met Zach in the finals, and he was playing Slivers, and he goes turn 5 Door to Nothingness. I'm like, interesting, Door to Nothingness in a Sliver deck. And he looked at me again with that same shocked noob attitude and was like, I'm already in 5 colors. And I'm like, oh boy, I have gone from what have I gone to? So there's my story. You guys get story time with Door to Nothingness. Spring of Drum, very good commander card. And a Fortified Beach. Ooh, it really wants me to play soldiers. Look at this. It's designed Bacon Bombs. Really wants me to play it. So it's 5:30 on a Friday afternoon in New Zealand, huh? 5:30. What? On a Friday afternoon? You're way far behind with that. I need to get a map. Friday afternoon 5. Oh, you're that far ahead of us. Sorry, guys. I only know what time it is in Russia and Moscow right now. That's the only time zones I know. Utah and Moscow. So. Where is Zach? Did Zach go home? He might have gotten home. I think Zach might have gone home. He was here a minute ago, but I don't know what he's doing with the... I don't hear the dogs either. Maybe he stole the dogs and GTFO'd. Alrighty. Let's go on to Disfigure, which this is funny. This is how powerful the removal's got. Usually every format in Standard where Disfigure's been legal, it's been played. And it's just isn't seeing play because so many options. There's Zach. Everyone's calling for you, Zach. They don't know why you're not on here. I guess you're the big celebrity now, and I'm Chop Liver. Chop Liver Kevin. No one even cares about me anymore. Sad. We got the recruitment officer. It really wants me to go soldiers.
Wait, what are you going?
It's Commander.
Oh.
Zach doesn't know what we're doing here. And Optimus Prime, I hope you don't vote on this because I can't stand Transformers. So, what does this even do?
You can alter address.
When Optimus Prime dies, return it to the battlefield converted under owner's control, and has bolster. and deals common damage to a player this turn. Convert it back. I mean, it's viable. And Cloud Key, that was in my other commander deck. Where's multicolored? And, oh, I guess this is legendary, so we got to put it in its legendary pile as an option. The Temporal Anchor. Another big, high converted mana cost blue card. And we got more spiders. The spiders, the spiders. Well, I guess Bacon Bombs loves Transformers, so we definitely should not vote on that one being used as the commander. Because we don't want to make Bacon Bombs happy. That would be the worst thing ever. So, Zach's so mad because he cooked food today, and then you ordered pizza and I ate the pizza instead of eating his food. You broke his heart. Now where'd he go again? He's grabbing something. Oh boy. Oh boy. The Philology Excavation. Urza. So here we get Urza, the Power Stone Prodigy, which is decent for looting, but was kind of a weird commander. I don't think this one would work. Okay, we just need the Thopter Founder to go with this as a list. It used to be a list card, so I'm not sure if that combo is still in here. Mechanized Warfare, very good card, and the Levitating Statue.
Like this? You're supposed to wear these.
Why is... Oh my gosh. Someone, I need help. This is an abusive relationship.
It's
Abusive relationship that I hear. He tries to dress me and the dogs up. Who do I call? What's the number for, like...
It's not me.
Someone give me a hotline. What? What? Zach, if you can read this, give Kevin bunny ears. Oh. Were those bunny ears? Those were cat ears. That was Chloe's costume for Halloween.
It's Meowth.
It's Meowth. We made Chloe be a kitty since she hates kitties. So.
You were Jesse or James or whichever the boy one is.
Jesse or James from... Got the Power Stone Engineer. Power Stone Fracture, that's a good one. Prison Sentence, which is what Zach is determined to get with all his conspiracies against the government.
We're on YouTube.
The Pyrrhic Blast. Ornithopter. I think Kanye West is Zach's new favorite person.
No, not even close. Don't talk about him. He's insane. I'm tired. Don't get me started.
That's all today I've been. He's like, look what Kanye said this time.
He's crazy. I said he's crazy. He was wearing a gimp mask.
Oh boy.
Whatever. Okay, have fun, guys. I'm gonna go home.
Yes, Zach's going home. Everyone else say goodbye to Zach.
It's gonna snow.
It's gonna snow? Yeah, it was warm today. Of course it's gonna snow. Ooh, we got that beautiful plains.
Sorry, have fun.
See you later. We have... So Zach used to live a block away, and now he lives 20 miles away. So sad. Now he's got to actually drive to work and justify driving to work, not driving a block to work. He lived across the street and come to work, but he chose to drive. All right, so Suchi Cave Guard, Hulking Metamorph. And okay, we got Mishra. We got Mishra from the actual set as the full art. So this says, permanents you control have ward, have to sacrifice a permanent, and each artifact card in your graveyard has an earth. So this card is definitely powerful. Definitely commander worthy as well. Personally, I still like the soldier. So one thing we used to do with this is we used to actually open up a set booster box and build a commander deck out of what we got in the set booster box, with the caveat that you could play multiple cards. So you could play as many copies as you open, because you don't really have enough to play like down to one-ofs yet. And eventually when the league would end, though, we would try to get it down to a one-of commander, because then after every loss you could buy more packs to go in your commander deck. It was a fun league. I really liked it. But anyway, if I were doing this right now, I'd still be leaning towards soldiers, because it seems solid with some of the cards we've picked up. So, alrighty. So the Razormoor, the Trench Stalker, Bulwark, boring. The Fauna Shaman, super strong card in any sort of commander format or any sort of format. I'm surprised. I haven't seen a lot. I've seen a couple decks run this as a strategy. Green is just really underrepresented right now in Standard, which is funny. It's dominated Standard for so long. The Teething Wormlet. I've actually seen a Standard deck with this guy too. Cool card. That's a really cloudy foil. All right, we're more than halfway done with set boosters. Okay, so we have a Obelisk art, Tower Worker, a Mutt. Where are my Mutts at? Cohort, a Wing Commando. Boring stuff. And now we have another version of Mishra with also loots. And whenever you discard another artifact card, it adds 2 red. So only triggers once. You can ramp into something else, but it's pretty meh. And we got another legendary, which is the Archimandrite. So when you're up, you gain X life, where X is the number of cards in your hand minus 4. We'd have synergy with that artifact card that we drew. That whenever you gain life, draw cards. Whenever you gain life, each advisor, artificer, and monk you control gets vigilance and +X+0 or X amount of life gain. And tap 3 untapped advisors, artificers, and or monks to draw cards. So really cool card too. This one definitely has some potential to build as a commander. The Platinum Angel will probably go in any commander deck, so this is a good inclusion. One of my favorite cards out of this set that says, unfortunately you can't play this card because Shieldred exists. It's literally written there right on the description. Unfortunately, this card is unplayable because Shieldred exists. Thank you, Wizards, for creating a best-in-slot card so you cannot play any of the other cards that are like it in any other format. The end. That's what that says in the text. So, cool card with the Puppeteer. We have the Falaja Chain Dancer and a Burning Inquiry. That card used to be pricey. They still play this in any sort of modern deck. I actually saw some Pauper decks that were starting to do some Burning Inquiry shenanigans. Really good with Unearth. Really good with Flashback. Really good with Madness. Oh, there's the Scrawn. We were just talking about you, Scrawn. What are you doing, my dude? There's a Wormcoil token. We have an Escape, an Infiltrator, Savants, a Giant Growth, Repair and Recharge. So this is the card they're running, I believe, in Standard. There's 2 of them that can return an artifact or enchantment or Planeswalker to the battlefield. So there's 2 cards they have in the Actually, they're trying to reanimate this sucker. Which, I mean, there we go. We already have a synergy right there with that reanimation and one with the multiverse. So that is a good loot it and then animate it. The Crusher, the Engine, another Anointer, another Self-Assembler. I told you I'm cursed with this card. This card just won't keep being open. The Gix's Command in here, which is a powerful, powerful commander card for sure. And we have the Gruesome Realization, which is a decent commander card. And we have a Johnny, Strength of the Pride, which they just reprinted this in Jumpstart. So this is, again, showing you the lack of communication between Wizards of the Coast and with its other designers, which you'd think that if this was coming out in another set, they'd take it off of the list so too many printings won't get into the, that's the list card was supposed to alleviate some of the pressure to have to reprint cards in multiple sets or to just, reprint too much. But is it raining outside? It's raining outside. How cold is it? Oh, geez, am I going to drive back in freezing rain? Anyway, so Johnny Strength of Pride, again, lack of communication by Wizards of the Coast. They should have taken it off before it came into Jumpstart. I mean, maybe it won't add that much. It creates a soldier. That's kind of cool, though. See, it wants us to go soldier. Definitely wants us to go soldier. So anyway, Wizards of the Coast needs better communication. They just need to do a better job. And the whole main thing that I'm starting to see with the quality control of Wizards, quality control in all aspects, not just in the products, but like I said, with these sort of releases, they need to slow down and think things through and really flesh things out. They are too, it must be hell working for Wizards of the Coast right now. They have so much pressure just to keep pumping stuff out that things just keep errors just keep slipping through. Oversights like what I mentioned with maybe you should take something off the list if it's getting a reprint. Those things are just happening over and over and over at Wizards of the Coast. Alrighty, so we get the the Scatter Ray, the Phalanx, the Honor Guard, the Colossus, Harvester, and a Cadence, the Thopter, a Sigil of Valor, and then we have the Simian Simulacrum, which is decent, and nothing there. Alrighty. How's summer treating you, Scrawn? I am super jealous. I hate winter. I don't want to be driving home in freezing rain or snow. And it looks like that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be very depressed. And I'm going to go sit by the fire and sulk because I absolutely despise winter. And I don't care that I'm in Utah and can snowboard and ski. I'd rather have the warm summers. There's another pristine talisman. Has some synergy with gaining life. See, we're going soldiers. Come on, bacon bombs. Look, this is just a sign from the deck. See, this can, oh, it creates warriors. Sad. We have the Outlaw's Merriment that creates warriors. We do have a monk, though, that works for that monk dude. But this creates warriors, clerics, and rogues with the Outlaw's Merriment. With the list card. And a foil monster Swiss Spirit, which used to be cool. But now that card's been printed a billion times. Recently in what, 2XM? I think it was in. And then now in this one, we got the mountain. And then we have the deadly, I'm not going to try to say that word. Gothian Sprite, rebuff, another Cress, another recruitment officer, but probably only be playing one. The Dissident, mass production, creates 4 soldiers. See? See? Oh, we got a Swifties. Swifties will definitely go in the deck. An Ivory Tower, which is okay with like a game life strategy for sure. The Thran Spider, which this is actually kind of cool. Like you can utilize it in a Power Stone deck better than your opponents can, and you can really start to pump out this ability. I actually like this card a lot. And an Engineer. So, not a lot of legendaries. I was expecting a lot more. Usually sets have, maybe this set just didn't have room for a lot of legendaries like some of the other ones. With all the artifacts that they were doing. Boom. Why is my stuff going all over the place? Alright, Warplow. Onslaught. Disfigure. We'll get down to the juicy stuff. Another Corrupt. The Soul Guide Lantern, which is a perfectly acceptable commander card. A Bauble, which is a perfectly acceptable, ETB type card in Commander. The Soul Partition. Extra turn on permanent for as long as then they can recast it. So it gives commander attacks to a card basically is what Soul Partition does. Kind of cool card. And the Power Suit, which gives +1/+1 for R and equipment. So this is another little bit higher of a cost than the one that exists right now. Doesn't the one that exists only give like it's called Helm of the Gods or Helm of the only does it for enchantments. So Thran Power Suit actually does it for both. So I wonder if this is actually Pioneer playable. The equip cost and normal cost a little bit pricey though. But at least he's getting 1 +1/+1 immediately. And Ward 2 is relevant. I don't know. Maybe that is Pioneer playable. Maybe I should look at sets. Maybe I should like analyze sets and actually play things again. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Spirits. And the Gift. We already have one. Kill Zone. The cooldown. Dreams of Steel and Oil, got another Synthesis, and Altar of Dementia. So, cool little mill strategy. We have the Sacrifice guy that they wanted to work with Sacrifice triggers. And we get the Gwenin Eyes of Gaia as another one. And this is actually kind of a cool commander, especially with all of the golems in here. So you can add 2 mana to spend on creatures or activate their abilities, and whenever you cast a creature spell with power 5 or greater, you put a +1 counter on Gwenin. So... man, they really should have had to add mana equal to the power, kind of like Marwyn. What a missed opportunity to synergize with itself. I don't even think that would be broken either. Add 2 mana, because it will add mana equal to the power of Gwenin, and then put a +1 counter if it's used for... yeah, why didn't they do that? That was kind of a miss. I know they already have the other card that exists like that card that was in what? When was that one printed? Kaldheim? No, before that. Anyway, you know what the card I'm thinking about that adds mana equal to its power. And we have an Urza's Command, which creates constructs, not soldiers, unfortunately. But it's got the Choose 2, which isn't bad. So far, this box has been pretty lackluster. I don't know. How's this box been? Brothers War was cool because of all of these reprints, but they're so common that it's really killed the price of them. I know there are some cool cards in the schematics. Curate. Latinam. Union. Go for the Throat, which is what Bacon Bombs threatened me. You guys heard it. You heard it on chat. Who do I call? The Obelisk Bailoff that's been dumbed down to an uncommon. I think they printed this just to keep Liliana in check, thinking that Liliana might be like too good of a card in standard. Something like Baloth will come in and keep it in check. But Liliana is actually quite weak right now in standard comparatively to other things that are going on. We have the Cliff Stomper and CC soldiers. Are you a good soldier boy, Bacon Bombs? Because this is what the box is telling you to go. The Sentinel returns up to one other target. See, works with soldiers again. See. The Revoker, Fraction Revoker, great commander card with the Fraction Revoker. The Flesh Gorger, though, oh, that's not a soldier. And you can't even run it because it's got Color Identity in it. And we got the Foily and Jalem Tome. Ooh. And a list card there. Not a list card, a flip card. I am making a mess over here. Welcome to my studio. It is a mess. Island. I'm going to go a little bit quicker here because I just want to see the rares. We have Lauren, Disciple of History, which technically is a legendary. So it can go in there. And I think I missed the legendary out of this. I'm going to have to look through this again. It wasn't that far down, was it? There it is. So that is an option. Oh, and we got another one of your Transformers, which is a 3/4, more than meets the eye, which you can cast for one less. So is that just like it can get around commander attacks, right? It can just keep getting around commander attacks. You can just keep casting it for 3. Is that what they try to do with this? Is that the whole thing, or do you still have to pay the commander attacks on it? Who's a rules lawyer in here that's actually read about these Transformers? Double Strike Haste 3/4 at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. You may have that player gain control of Slicer. If you don't untap it, goad it. It can be sacrificed this turn. If you don't, convert it. So it just goes around the table to everyone. And then attacks your opponents. And then goes into First Strike Haste. And when it deals combat damage player, convert it. So just gets First Strike. So it gets dumbed down when it goes into car mode. And okay, I get it. The Foundry Inspector, great commander card. The Phyrexian Dragon Engine, so that's the other part of Mishra, but we don't have that Mishra, I believe. We have just the other Mishra. So the Phyrexian Dragon Engine. I'm going to set this aside just in case, because it can go with Mishra if we end up opening the... Hey, the Honden of Seeing Winds. This did go up in value quite a bit because of Kamigawa. So I don't know if people are still building Shrine decks or not, but there is the Honden of the Seeing Winds. The Magic Historian, too. Oh, my God. Now we're really getting old school here in the live stream. Wow. Nostalgia. Wasn't even reading chat. Is he even gone by now? Because I know that's a good old perp does. Comes in and creeps out for a second, then off he goes. You haven't been to perps live streams in forever, too. Dude, I'm just busy. That's my excuse for everything. I'm stretched too thin. Wish I had time to just troll on YouTube like I used to. We got the Hero of the Dunes. It's a really cool card. One of my favorite cards to build around in draft. When I see this card, I snap it up because there's a lot of synergy with Unearth, a lot of synergy with, just getting value at a lot of those cheap Unearth cards. And soldiers work really good with it. The Meticulous Excavation. This card is actually super sweet. This is just like a lovely Brewers card. You've been busy too, huh? Aww. Well, I'm still around, perp. I am still around. I still exist. I don't know. To be honest with you, too, like, I really, really, really started to lose my love for Magic because of some of the things that were going on. All of the above. Here, locally, just the mistakes after mistake, or decisions, I would say, after decisions that Wizards made. It just, trying to both be a player and a business owner is absolute hell with some of the decisions they make, because it kind of pulls you in two different directions. Anyway, then we have a Liquid Metal Coating with the alternate art, and we have Saheeli, really cool card. This is very powerful. There's a cool sacrifice deck right now that's going around, Grixis Sacrifice, and a Corrupt. Next up we have a Prototype. So many of those. And who knows what that is. Some sort of Mishra card. But yeah, congrats on your success of your channel too, Mr. Perp. I've seen you really start to excel. I could learn a thing or two from you about consistency, because I am not consistent. That has been my downfall on the YouTubes. But in all honesty, I've enjoyed running the more of the business side of stuff. I'm still am. What'd you guys say that everyone hears from Discord? I'm still pretty active on Discord. Still active on the day-to-day operations. Hell, I shipped off like 20 packages a day. Jeez, people. That's another thing too, with the amount of product releases, man, it's made my life, my kind of business model a lot harder as well. It used to be like pre-release would just be draft boosters, and yeah, it was just draft boosters, and bundles. So you'd get all the draft boosters in, ship off just draft boosters, call it a day, wait for other products, ship off those products, and not with like a bazillion products I have to keep up to date with like everything coming out. It's awful. We have the quietest spike, and then we got the Ashnod's Altar. It's a great card. Yeah, nice to see you too, Perp. We have the Ashnod's Altar, which is a good one. The Pioneer format. Oh, yeah, I remember the good old Pioneer format. The Visions of Phyrexia, which is kind of cool for creating Power Stones. And a Tome Worker. Man, it's hard. Sorry about this, too. It's hard to see the chat. I got this light that's shining in my face. From one of the lights that's over here. Really need to get a key light so I can actually get rid of all these other lights. So I hope people can see everything okay on this stream. I wasn't planning on... I was planning on procrastinating, but with Bacon Bombs literally threatening my life, I decided that I better stream this. Otherwise, you know, I just value my life too much to lose it over streaming or not streaming. The audacity of that threat. The audacity, Bacon Bombs. We have the Chromatic Star. Used to be expensive. The Mishra's Command. I haven't even seen this one. What does it do? X damage target creature, X damage target planeswalker, plus X plus 0, and gains haste. And discard a card, draw a card. Not a bad card. Dredging Claws. Enjoy your dinner. Isn't it dinner? Isn't it like 1 o'clock in the morning where you're at? What is it, 10? So it's what? It's like, it's midnight now? Is that what it is in Kanakada? Kanakada? I guess Kanakada is as large as United States, so it has other time zones too. I just assume everything in Kanakada is East Coast, because that's where most of your major cities are, right? Besides Vancouver. Sorry, the only cold nation I know a lot about is Russia. I don't care about Canada. All I know is Canada, like, I grew up really liking hockey, and I grew up in the desert, so there was no place to play hockey. And so kids used to make fun of me for liking hockey, and I hated the football players. Like, the football and basketball players growing up in a small town, they are the cockiest, most miserable people. I mean, we all know them. Well, I was a kid playing Magic in the lunchroom, so they were always the bullies and thought they were better than everyone. So I was still athletic, still loved sports. And so I loved hockey, though. So I grew up with this idea that hockey players were just more refined. They were more gentlemen. It was a gentleman's sport. They weren't jocks like the American football player or basketball player. And then I started playing hockey in college. And wherever you go, there's a Canadian. Or wherever they go, there's lots of Canadians. They all moved to the States here. A lot of them from like the... like Edmonton, Calgary area. They moved down to Utah because I know there's a lot of Mormons in Alberta. And then, of course, they need to come to the Holy Land. So we have a lot of Canadians here. And man, oh man, if I thought American football players were like the worst, you just wait until you meet a Albertan. Is that how you say it? Albertan or an Albertian? If you ever meet a hockey player from Alberta, they take the cake of just that whole jock intolerable attitude. And it broke my heart. My heart was so broken because I thought hockey players were like not like the rest of them. And they were worse. Nothing worse than a Canadian hockey player. I'll offend all of you Canadian hockey players right now. So we have Hercule, Master Wizard. So at the beginning of your end step, if you cast a non-creature spell, reveal the top 5 cards of the library. For each card among non-creature spells you've cast this turn, you may put a card from among the real cards into your hand. So it's a good draw outlet if you can cast artifacts, instances, sorceries on the same turn. This one's actually pretty sweet. This is a really good draw outlet because, I mean, sorcery instant per turn, that's 2 cards per turn. So Man, there could probably be some pretty neat, and enchantment. You still have enchantment planeswalker too that can be added in this mix. But just relying on sorcery instant and building a deck around that, or I guess just non-creature spells in general. Man, this almost seems like competitive EDH playable just because the draw outlet is huge. So, unfortunately, hockey is like other girls. Hockey's the worst of the girls. I should have known though. I grew up with like idolizing people like hockey players like Patrick Waugh. That was one of them that I loved growing up. If anyone knows his story, he was just like a drunken, intolerable, just absolutely intolerable person in real life. Like getting fights in restaurants because someone served, the wrong size spoon. That sort of personality. Alrighty, so let's go to any other good stuff in these last couple packs, and then we'll vote on the Worm Coil Engine going in the deck. Probably will. Another Flask. Another Steel Seraph, which is not a soldier, but definitely does work very well with soldiers. It is an angel, though, so seen this in a mono-white angel deck in Standard. And we have the token that goes with one of the Transformers. The Locust, and we got the last pack here. The last pack. Oh, legendary pile for who? Who did I miss? Oh, there we go. There we go. You caught me. Legendary pile. Yeah, the Seraph is a cool card definitely is a cool card in Standard too. Because it's pretty aggressive. Flying, Vigilance, or Lifelink. So you can make a card evasive, a 2-drop evasive, and then it itself can start dishing off some damage. So like a 3/3 flyer for 3 mana is solid. That used to be a super, so like a 3/3 for 3. Like think of cards that, like Baneslayer Angel is such a pathetic card now, and it used to be such like the best card in Standard. I remember when I got back into Magic, that was such a powerhouse, and now it's just kind of meh. We got the Archaeologist. All right, we got a couple other red cards no one cares about. Hey, I think that's our first Yoshin frontliner. I haven't seen much of these. Crate Soldiers. We got this going. We got some neat stuff going. This is another thing that works great with Soldiers, but I think if we're going Soldiers, we play the white and duplicate Cloud Key. The white and black, or white and blue. The Diabolical Intent, which I surprised they reprinted this in Standard, because this card does seem very powerful. Very powerful in Standard. And we have the Colossal Bulwark. So that's it. We got it all. We have Absol, so it's your call, Bacon Bombs, if you want a Collector's Open or not. I think we have enough to work with here. We really can't go Titania Voice of Gaia because we don't have the other side to it. Plus, it's kind of, I don't know if it's that boring. So my choices of what I would definitely build is Hercule Master Wizard. Just seems just a super solid card, but I'm not sure how fun this would be for a... The challenge level is definitely there to really flesh it out, to make it a, super good deck for what it can do. But probably, there's some cool stuff like even Cloud Key, or just with artifacts, just like reducing cost, and you can draw a lot of it. So has to be on your end step though. So you're only getting value on your end step, not on all the other opponent's turn. But the capabilities of this card drawing a lot and, doing a lot of things is quite high. We didn't get Mishra, so this is out of the equation. We have Slicer, Hired Muscle, which seems okay for like a chaotic one, but it's just boring. I don't know, goading is just boring. Gwenin, which I think is a fun one, but in all honesty, as a commander, I guess untapping it and casting more is pretty good. So you keep, is there something that adds mana when you tap it equal to turn it into? I swear there was an enchantment that you can tap a creature to add mana equal to its power. Maybe so. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But, I mean, being able to untap this and cast multiple things in turn is pretty good. Great card in Animar. Lore and Disciple of History. I mean, it's there, but it's very weak. And so, like, so far, let's see. I'll do a pile of, like, I don't like, really don't like. Oh, maybe I'll rate them. Maybe I should actually, like, move some stuff and throw all Bacon Bomb's cards on the ground. Is that what we should do? Niet ni nada. Nobody knows Russian? That's the only words I can say. Niet. Okay, so where do we go here? So these ones, I'd say a 1, 2, or 3 if people can see those. Really boring. Okay. Now this one I'd rate very high. I think the synergies are there. The only problem is it's already out of a commander deck, so I mean people have done this probably a billion times already. I don't know how many monks and we definitely got artificers. I'm not sure about advisors in here, but there's some cool things you can definitely do with this. So I'd rate this one like a 5. Mishra Excavator Prodigy, it's cool-ish on like being able to have a commander that is good to start looting, but having the activation cost, having it be 3 mana instead of 2 mana, and then not really having the greatest discarding card add 2. I'd still put this probably as a 3 because the creativity is definitely there. The Mishra Tamer of Makfawa. Ward Sacrifice a permanent is kind of cool. Really cool with this, though, too, is you can target your own. There are some synergies with this if you have ways to have sacrifice payoffs. Ward is only your opponents. I was going to say, I wonder if you can target your own stuff, but Ward is only your opponents, so yeah, that kind of sucks, where my train of thought was going with Ward. But Unearth is definitely super strong with this. You can unearth a lot of really high-end golems with ETB effects, and you could utilize the problem with a lot of the golems though is they have color identity, so you're kind of down to black and red cards. But we did get a couple cool ones, and unfortunately, it's not the right Mishra that then flips over. So there is that one, and I would say this one would be a 5 too. This one's, well, maybe we'll maybe do 4 ratings here, because I don't know if I'll ever have a 4, because I either like it or don't at that point. The Urza's Power Stone Prodigy, again, you discard 1 or more artifacts, you create a Power Stone. It's a nice little looting effect. There's a lot of things you could definitely do with this. Optimus Prime, Bolster on a 6-drop. It's just, it dies, you return it. It's not where Commander wants to be. I mean, we could still go Soldiers and then have this for the colors. For Optimus Prime being like the Commander, just so we could splash into the Icon class and the other one that we opened, the other multicolored one. Like, if we were using just the box as a majority of the Commander deck, you could justify using this for the color combination. But even at that point, like, the color combination off of the Archimandrite might be still good? No, you definitely wouldn't want to go Soldiers with this one. So I don't know. Optimus Prime's okay. It's okay, but it's boring. Now, Urza, Prince of Krug, is cool with the artifact strategy. You get everything is +2/+2 with artifact creatures. You can create tokens. It works with Power Stones. This one, here's where I'd put a 4. This was on my would be like a 4 in fun, creativity things you can do. Lots of cool stuff you can do with and it works, yeah, it actually does work with Soldiers too. So it could definitely be in the Soldier strategy. We have Feldon, which Feldon I would actually put as a 5, just because Feldon seems super, super fun to try to build around, to try to get the end of your next turn. Like, I'm thinking like a stuffy doll, do damage to every creature, give it indestructibility type strategy. You could just really play a lot of cards out, but possibly, I don't know, do you really need a card that just such, like, now it really starts to sound like Hercule. Like, both of these are very similar. They're great draw outlets, but at that point, is that where we want to be in Commander? Thanos Solemn Survivor. This one's, of course, really, really synergistic. A lot of things you can do with this. It'd be in the 4 or 5 range for me, because creating a bunch of artifact tokens, figuring out the best ETB type effects and start copying them, there's probably some really cool stuff to do with this one. Sacrifice with Mishra is Bacon Bombs is... wait, which one Sacrifice with Mishra? Mishra Sacrifice deck? Is that what you're seeing? That's what your altar? We have altars with Mishra. That's where everyone's leaning. We have Astronaut as well, which has whenever you activate an ability of an artifact or creature that isn't a mana ability, if 1 or more permanents were sacrificed to activate it, you may copy that ability. So I'm trying to think of what are artifacts that want to sacrifice. I know there's a couple equipment that have equipment you have to sacrifice, but then you don't get the effect on it. And the mana ability doesn't work with Astronaut's Altar. This is funny because it absolutely does not work with its own namesake card, which is, I don't know, kind of weird there. But, I mean, there are a lot of other things that do sacrifice that trigger. I mean, just think about the Black Sacrifice deck from Pioneer. And in Standard right now, there's a couple things that do work. like whenever you activate an ability of an artifact or creature. So it's not spells or enchantments either. So there are some enchantment stuff. So there are a lot of artifacts to do that require you to sacrifice stuff. Like Birthing Pod, wrong color combination, I know. But there are also cards, a lot of cards in black that do have you sacrifice things as cost. So this one would be kind of cool. It is out of the commander deck though. Isn't this is the one that's in front of the commander, isn't it? Or is it Mishra and Urza that are on? Why am I thinking, I have one right here. Why am I like... Oh, nope, it's not. Of course it's Mishra and Urza. Mishra and Urza are the one. So it's contained in this deck, huh? It's contained in this is what I'm getting at. There, these Brothers War commanders. Oh boy. There you have it. So, I guess we're just opening up your comments, and then I guess that'll be my challenges next week. I don't know if I want to do it live. I'll just do a video for it, but also, you know, give me some ideas of what sort of live kind of hangout stuff you guys would like to see. Again, I don't want to commit too much to this because, like I mentioned, I'm pretty stretched thin with other stuff I'm working on at the moment. But if you guys do enjoy this, we can find a day to hang out. I miss my peeps. I kind of miss it. Again, kind of nostalgic right now, even with some of these names that have been showing up on this live stream. So, Ultra Dimension does work with Ashnod. Yeah, that is true. Ashnod's Ultra Call with Mishra was my thoughts. So then you unearth a bunch of things, but I mean you're getting, yeah. So you can mill yourself and then unearth, but that is kind of a cool strategy for sure, to mill some high impact cards, and then unearth them into play. And unearth's cool too because it gives them haste. So there are a lot of, like, I mean, even at that point, Blightsteel Colossus does have the... Is Unearth only as a sorcery, though? Where's an Unearth card? I'm thinking Unearth is only as a sorcery. Let's find one. Or someone in the comments. Return this battlefield. Unearth this only sorcery. I was saying you could use something like Blightsteel Colossus, but because it does hits the graveyard and gives that state-based effect that you can respond to it, or triggered effect, not state-based, where you can respond to it shuffling back in your library. But since Unearth is sorcery, that does not work. So we can't be using Blightsteel. But there are a bunch of other artifacts that definitely want to be unearthed from the graveyard for sure. So yeah. You want me to do an entire collector? If it wasn't 10:15 and I have to wake up early because I procrastinated till the very last minute, I have a tenant moving in tomorrow, afternoon or night, so I need to wake up and clean the apartment and then get it ready for someone to move in. Why am I such a procrastinator? So I definitely do a collector, but I think we have enough to work with here of ones. I mean, sometimes less options is more options, because if we open up a collector, I'm sure we'll find something that absolutely would be like catnip for me. But I think these ones are kind of cool. If it was just the booster box, I'd probably start with like Optimus Prime Soldiers, just so it gives me the color combinations. And it's decently synergistic with Soldiers, because Bolster does work with some of the strategies you're going with Soldiers. But I mean, Optimus Prime is just boring. But for the colors, I think Urza is kind of cool with Power Stones and Soldiers, but not quite sure if that's the route we want to go either. We do have like the Archim, like these two work together too, the Archimandrite and Urza. And again, like my whole thing is to take everything we got from this box and use. You said you want me to use at least 30 cards or leave 30 cards, because that is about using 30 cards, because you have to leave like 37 lands typically. So yeah, it's about using. So we'll say I'm going to use at least 30 cards from this pool. We also have Thanos that works actually not too terribly bad with Urza. But, I mean, these ones are definitely the fun ones, for sure. These ones are great commanders. So I did have the option to have a live-in made, so just get me to Russia. I'll bring back like a dozen of them. No? Too soon? All right, so these are the ones that I would like to narrow it down to. We can either let Bacon Bombs decide, since he paid for this set booster and ordered me pizza, so he definitely bribed us with and Domino's is actually edible. Thank you very much for not choosing that trash Pizza Hut. So Pizza Hut in our area is disgusting. I don't know how Pizza Hut is in everyone else's area, but in my town it's particularly disgusting. Oh man, I made some really good pizza for Thanksgiving. I should have showed everyone pictures. My stimulus check oven is doing great. That's what I spent one of my stimulus checks on, was a pizza oven. So I spent like almost $1,700 on a stupid pizza oven when everything was said and done with it. I've used it. I concluded it's taken me. It's cost me $300 per, not per pizza, but $300 per time I've used my oven. This is expensive pizzas. What is Zach back? Where is Zach? No Zach here. Is there another Zach? Yeah, Mishra Unearthed Self-Mill Shenanigans is probably so far the card we're going with. That's fine. Like, I'm not against Mishra. I think Mishra is super solid. There's definitely some cool stuff we can do, and with this pool, there definitely are some playables. Like you said, we have the altar. There's good old Wormcoil. So Wormcoil is cool. Wormcoil is a great Unearth target too, because it comes in, hits for Death Touch, Lifelink, and leaves back 2 tokens. But that's one of the problems too with Unearth, is it does exile it once it leaves the battlefield. So, and we do have the Ashnod's Altar actually can work with it too a little bit, but we have Foundry Inspector, we have Ultra Dementia that works really well. Even unearthing cards like Mishra Ball isn't terrible. I mean, it's not the best thing ever, but it's not terrible, because all the artifacts just get unearth, so you can unearth anything. Got a good old Platinum Angel, which is not bad if we then go into like reanimating stuff that we've milled into the graveyard. Sword of the Meek is not the greatest card. No Thopter Foundry go with it. Cloud Key's cool though. Like, there definitely is some cool stuff though. But look at this. We got the fortified beachhead. I can't believe that soldiers. This was just calling soldiers' name here. Diabolical Intent's kind of cool too with a sacrifice deck. So yeah. So I guess that's the consensus then. What do you think, Bacon Bombs? I will have you basically let me know here which one you want to do, and then I'll get together a video. Oh, you wanted the people to decide. So who's deciding? Since I don't even know how many people. Like, cause I usually when I stream I have like multiple screens, but I'm just using a laptop back here. So, yep. I'll open the box tomorrow and build a deck out of what, Zach? Open what box? We just opened a box. This is what we did. We just opened a box for Bacon Bombs. You said you didn't want to do this video, and you made me do it. I'm like, Zach, go do a video for Bacon Bombs. He ordered you pizza so we didn't have to eat your food. And you're like, no, I don't want to. And you made me do it. And now you're wanting to open up a box? Jeez. Jeez. Look at this. Never satisfied. So I don't know. What are we voting on? Is there a way to start a poll? I thought there was a way to start a poll right here. There is. I swear there's a way right in YouTube messages to start a poll. How do I do it? I really, really need to figure this out. Well, can't some of my mods do a poll too? I don't know. We'll have to get good scrub at this YouTube stuff again. So, yeah. How's the weather, Zach? Is it really... It sounded like it started raining right after you left. I don't want to be driving home in freezing rain. I'm just going to pull out a sleeping bag and sleep here. Roker? I don't know. If I get more motivation in time... The biggest problem with like live streaming at a store is I'd have to do it late after it closes. And every time it gets late, then I'm so burnt out that I just want to go home. So because if we do, definitely when we remodel the store, it could be a better option because that way more isolated. I could bring the other computer back here and it'd be easier. But Optimus Prime is not. Optimus Prime is not in the equation. I'm not doing this. It's just so boring. So these again here. So I will. We're doing okay. Worm Equivalence is not a legendary. I've narrowed it down to these 5. These are the 5 that I personally would want to brew around. Like I think these are the cool ones for sure. And no, it's probably like I'm sure these have been done a million times already. I'm late to the party by building. I mean, to give credit where credit's due, Big and Ball has wanted me to do this ASAP, and I've dragged my feet and procrastinated getting this done. But these are the ones that I definitely would like. So yeah, we are good explaining Discord. Have a good night. You leaving me, Bacon Bombs? Are you going to bed now? Because if you're going to bed, I'm going to bed. But so spread out the 5 options. Okay, so we got Mishra. I think this is what most people are leaning on is Mishra. Then we have Ashnod, which actually is a super cool. As far as like the complexity level, this one I'm sure people have already broken this guy or gal. Yeah, I'm sure there's been some crazy stuff done with Ashnod. I'm sure there's some infinite combos and some loops that are caused by Ashnod sacrifice. It utilizes probably a lot less cards from the set booster box than Mishra does. Mishra's really good at utilizing a lot of the cards we opened. So if I were looking at this like as a new player challenge of if I open up a set booster box and wanted to build a commander deck, this would be a lot easier without having to spread out to other cards. Now if using 30 cards, like the challenge is using 30 cards from what we've opened, then absolutely Mishra is easier than Ashnod for sure. Thanos again can make like artifacts we've opened very good in this pool. I really like the soldier guy because we opened up so much soldier synergy. We have, doesn't the construct dude pump out soldiers? We have the soldier that gives +1/+1. We have the soldier when it attacks create a soldier token. We have, I mean, there are so many soldiers in here, and Urza doesn't create the greatest amount. I mean, Urza like spits out soldiers and gives artifact soldiers +2/+2, so possibly Urza's not the coolest soldier commander. And like again, we could go to Optimus Prime and just with the color combination pick up a couple other soldiers from red that were good. But Urza's super solid, and the Archimandrite also seems like a very fun card to build around. So yeah. Poll in the morning for our top picks. Okay, we can host a poll in the morning for the top picks for this, and figure it out. But again, I'm still leaning towards Mishra. I'm with John here. I think that the Mishra is super fun to build around. It's definitely a Kevin type strategy. I am a big Unearth type fan. I've tried to break Unearth so many times in various formats, and it does very good at utilizing a lot of the cards that were opened up at this one. Man, this is making me sad. We used to play Commander League, and it was very fun. One of my favorite ways to actually play Magic the Gathering was Commander League. I'm not the biggest fan of where Commander's gone. Like I mentioned at the very start of the video, I feel like there's so many auto-includes in Commander that by the time you build a deck, it's like, oh, cool, I could work with maybe 15 cards max, because I got to throw in all of my Ikoria free spells from if you control your Commander nonsense. I got to run all my hate cards against all everyone else's shenanigans, and then you're down to like 10, 15 cards you can actually work with. And it's just Commander's just gotten insanely boring with that. So Commander League, where you open up, this is literally how we used to do it at my store, is you opened up a set booster box, built a deck only out of the cards that you open up out of your set booster box. We also did have the rule that if you open anything for a limited tournament, so any drafts or pre-releases or like jumpstart, like things like that, like if we did a jumpstart event, those should also be migrated over to your commander pool. And the whole goal of this is it was like being a brand new player again. starting with a collection and having to work with cards that you got out of that pool. And it made for some pretty sweet interactions and combos that you would have never seen outside of this league. I remember one of them. Is it Extus? No, what's the? I'm trying to think of the Mardu dude out of Strixhaven that every time you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you return a creature from your graveyard to your hand. Is that what it did? And they had the flip side that you could cast it as a sorcery. But anyway, I think that was called Extus. I'm not sure. But that card was so fun to turn bad cards into good cards. It was like some of these synergies were like, I remember opening up like some Ikoria packs with cycling. I'm like, oh, this card is so broken in him. And because now I cast it, I get it back. It's just a draw outlet. And you started to like find these cool synergies that worked with it that I guarantee they had a hard time of ever being put in like a legitimate Extus deck. And so it's set like limited leagues are so much fun. I cannot promote leagues enough. If you're not doing a league, you are missing out because it is the purest way to play Magic the Gathering. I don't like limited because you play it once, you're done. What if you drafted this really amazing limited deck and you're like, oh, well, this is my thing I hate the most about limited sometimes is when I go, 0-2 and get knocked out. And then it's like, well, I've drafted this really cool deck and I got to play it twice because of Mana Screw or something. Or like I've noticed like a bunch of my limited pools for pre-release, I open up like really cool green or black cards or something like that, or cards, or like a card like this. And it just doesn't synergize enough in a 40 card deck. You just don't have enough cards to work with it. And it's like, oh, that would have been so cool in a limited environment. And you just didn't get to play it. Well, where League compensates for that is eventually you can start looking at your cards and be like, okay, this doesn't work now, but as soon as I get more cards that go with this, then it's going to be viable later on down the line. And it's just super like Wednesdays were always, I'd look forward to Wednesdays. You're like, yes, I can open up a pack. I hope I get something cool for my pack. So I can open up this pack and see if it works with my deck. And you get that experience again of being kind of that new player, of looking forward to allowance day so you can add more cards to your pool that then can go with your deck. Now as like an adult that owns a store, if I'm going to build a deck, you saw it. I'm just going to go, all out. I have access to everything in the store. And so I'm like, cool, I'm going to build this commander here. I'm going to build this Astaroth the Archledge. Okay, let me go get my Mana Crypt. Let me go get my Mana Vault to go with it. Let me go get all the other expensive cards, throw it right in. Oh, let's find everything that perfectly synergizes with it. And then, that's how it ends up being played. Whereas limited, you're limited to options, which actually creates, in my opinion, a better experience because you have to make bad cards good. And it's the same thing with Pokemon. Pokemon is the trashiest of trash games ever if you try to play it how they want you to play. If you try to play constructed Pokemon, it is miserable. It is the most miserable game. And I know I've got some Pokemon fans that would disagree with me, but Pokemon is miserable in a constructed environment. It's like playing Legacy. You just draw through your entire deck, you find everything you need, and you play it out like that. If you play with just a build and battle, which was what they want you to do with pre-releases, Pokemon is also still miserable because it's not enough to work with. There's not enough time to really figure out your stuff. It's an event that lasts for 3 hours. You might have overlooked something that had a synergy and then wow, oh, I should have actually used this or you see someone else play it wow, I should have thought about that and adjusted it, and it's too late by then. And you just don't get enough experience out of the cards you open. In my opinion, leagues are insanely fun. Insanely fun. I don't know why Wizards of the Coast doesn't really get behind them. I don't know why they don't do sponsor something like the Command Zone does with their Commander games, and just do like a league week after week that people can say, I opened up this and this is what I'm gonna add, and show the changes. I think that'd make for an amazing little video series of people that want to do that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's just I think people are missing out with the card game experience is what I'm trying to say here. So, no, we have not tried a Pokemon with EX expanded because a lot of times, and EXs are pretty powerful. Like, I remember, this one didn't have any EXs, and I still did really well in it. This one did. Had 2 Aerodactyls that I opened up with these. But I have not tried that. Definitely, that'd be a pretty good rule, in my opinion. I'm with you that sometimes whoever draws their Vs or especially in the league we got going now, is that people have ways to evolve their Vs into VMAXs. They have such a huge advantage. But man, I'm losing everyone that doesn't know how to play Pokemon. But yeah, I highly encourage everyone to get into League. It's very, very fun. Very fun. And how we do it with the Commander League is we did a whole set booster. Multiple cards are legal because it's in a limited environment, so it's not the one of Commander thing. And then we did encourage people to cut down to 3, 2, 1, and by the end of the league, you'd have like an actual Commander deck. So anyway, yeah, we actually do it with even Flesh and Blood. I've done it with Flesh and Blood, which was pretty fun. A Flesh and Blood league. I don't think I've done it with any other games because I haven't really played any other games. So yeah. Tried My Hero Academia. It was okay. MetaZoo's trash. MetaZoo's boring. It's just too much of a gimmick. Any other cool games I'm missing out on? Like this Weeb crap. Should we open up a Weeb pack before I go? Hey guys, you want to see my Attack on Titan collection? This Weiss Schwartz? Which one of you recommended that I would like Attack on Titans? Was it you, Arya? Show is trash. Absolute trash. Who's this guy? Now we're really going down the rabbit hole. What's the same thing? I just opened up two of these, a sharp teeth jaw guy and the same thing. You don't even know how to play this Weiss Schwartz game. Why am I opening up Weeb cards? No, Scron, I don't want to know your recommendations for quote-unquote good anime. Because it doesn't exist. Anime, just by its very nature, is trash. I tried. It's so awful. It's all awful. It's terrible. What am I even looking at? Ooh, who's this one? Who's Sasha? Was that even the foil? Oh yeah, it's very subtle. There's like a little tiny bit of foiling here on it. There's your Weiss Schwartz cards. Oh. Anyway, this is fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed cracking some stuff, Bacon Bombs. Thanks for making me get out of my hole and actually doing a live stream. Hopefully it all worked out on your guys' end. I kind of just winged it. Didn't even like try to set up the camera nicely. Luckily, I was having a hard time getting the webcam and the cam to work together, but we figured it out. We figured it out in record time. And yeah. All right, let me know some suggestions for any other live streams, hangouts you guys want to do. Maybe we'll figure out some time to Netflix and chill together. And I don't know, maybe next time we'll take more clothes off. We'll see. If the tips keep coming in, you never know. We'll might migrate to another channel or another website for that. Anyway, teasing YouTube. Don't ban me. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to head home now that it may be snowing outside. I am sick of winter. I want summer back. It's so terrible. Maybe next time, Bacon Bombs, you can sponsor a rock polishing video. I can show all the rocks I polished. That'd be fun. That's so much more fun than Magic cards. Hey, guys, want to see my polished rock collection? That's everything I subscribe to now. If you actually look at like my latest subscriptions on YouTube, it's all rock. It's all rock hounding channels I subscribe to. I'm an old boring man. Old boring man. Anyway, this has been fun, guys. I'm gonna call it a night and see you all next time. We'll vote on, I guess, which one we want to do, or Bacon Bombs will decide. We'll figure it out. And Star Wars Legion, yeah, yep. You're into X-Wing now, huh? I gotta order you a bunch of X-Wing. That's gonna be fun. Good old X-Wing. Aren't those a pain in the butt to actually put together? I've never put together much models. I just make Zach do it all. But yeah, it's been fun. It's late. I'm going home. I got work to do. Thanks everyone for being here, and we will see you next time. What do they say in Russia? Das Vidanya? Das Skorova? Paka paka? Or is it, yeah, paka paka? Bye-bye.